Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning. Today's lesson is uh, will be about developing and implementing an effective ethics program. Okay, so we've looked at some framework that looks at what affects how organizations uh, address ethics issues, and we've looked at specifically some of the important factors, the individual factors, the organizational factors. And today, from that understanding, we will see how organizations develop how they should develop and implement an effective ethics program. Okay, by the end of this chapter, you should be able to understand the responsibility of the corporation to stakeholders, understand why businesses need ethics programs, list the minimum requirements for an ethics program, describe the role of codes of ethics in identifying key corporate risk areas, understand the role of ethics officers, identify factors in successful ethics training program types and goals, examine the ways ethical standards are monitored, audited, and enforced. Examine the role of the ethics audit. Explore the stages of the ethics auditing process and identify integrity measurement frameworks. Okay. First of all, we look at the responsibility of the corporation to stakeholders. It says here that increasingly, our corporations are viewed as moral agents accountable for their conduct to their stakeholders. Okay, so we regard, the community regards corporations as a separate entity. It's like a living person, except that it's not a biological person, but it's an institution. Okay, so corporation is an institutional person that is also viewed as a moral agent. Okay, um, they act on behalf of a group of people, so they are the agents of a group of people that consists of uh, a business organization. And because they act as as an agent, they are also accountable in terms of the morals. Okay, so they are accountable for the conduct, specifically to the various stakeholders that are related to the corporations. Through the law, society holds companies accountable for the conduct and decisions of their employees as well. Okay, because companies are not human, laws and regulations are necessary to provide formal structural restraints and guidelines. Okay, so of course there are laws that addresses individuals' wrongdoings, but because companies are not those individuals, therefore there are specific laws that are required to address wrongdoings or issues that are related to companies that make ethical or non-ethical decisions um, need to be addressed through specific laws and regulations. Implementing a centralized corporate ethics program can provide a cohesive, internally consistent set of statements and policies representing the corporation as a moral agent. So, when looking at our corporations as moral agents, then there need to be a specific endeavor, a specific effort to make sure that corporations follow the ethics standards or the ethics expectance on them. Okay, so for that, specifically, corporations should have an ethics program, a specific program that addresses general ethics issues. So now we look at the need for organizational ethics programs. Formal programs sensitize employees to the potential legal and ethical issues within their work environments. Okay, so if employees just do their routine work, they might take for granted the ethical issues. Okay, they may just perform their work to achieve their output goals, but they might not think so much about ethical issues. Therefore, to sensitize them, to make the employees sensitive towards issues and either ethical or legal issues, then a specific formal program should be conducted to raise their awareness, to raise their sensitivity. Because if employees are involved in legal issues or ethical issues, it may destroy the public trust on the company, as well as if the company itself is doing ethical wrongdoings, then employees themselves may not trust the organizations anymore. Therefore, a specific ethical ethics program needs to be done, so that people within the organization act on behalf of the organization more ethically, because they will be more sensitive towards ethical issues. Understanding the factors that influence ethical decision making can help companies encourage ethical behavior and discourage undesirable conduct. Okay, so when we want to produce an ethical program, we need to understand the factors that influence ethical decision making, and when we understand the factors, we will take the organization will take necessary actions to deter misconducts, and such actions could include terminating unethical employees. Okay, so a very core action that can be done to ensure ethical practices on organization is to ensure that we have ethical employees. If we, as so long as we have unethical employees, we will be exposed to the probability that employees will engage in unethical behavior, which will be detrimental to the company's appearance to the public. And then the company needs to other action includes improving the firm's ethical standards. Okay, so when a company has a good ethical standards, then the employees are very clear on what they can or cannot do, and therefore it will be easier for them to decide when they face particular issue or problems. Pressures to succeed create opportunities that reward unethical decisions. Okay, so as a background, companies, they operate in some sort of a pressure in by being in a market, in a competitive market. They face pressures from multiple sources, pressures from their customers' demands, pressures from competing companies, pressures from new market entrants. Okay, these things will put pressure on the company, such that they will find they may look for ways where they can increase their competitiveness, although those ways may be unethical. Okay, so by being pressured, an organization may take actions that are not necessarily ethical. Organizations should develop a program by establishing, communicating, and monitoring ethical values and legal requirements. Okay, so to avoid all these things, then organizations should develop a specific program with regards to organizational ethics, and that program is to establish an ethical framework or ethical standards, communicate those standards, monitor those values in terms of compliance among the employees, and then monitor the compliance of the company towards legal requirements. There is no universal standards that can be applied to organizational ethics programs. Okay, unlike some of the more specific areas such as financial reporting, where there are specific standards that each company, depending on where they operate, they need to follow, they need to comply with. Ethics programs are rather non-universal. Um, Therefore, there is a need to formulate. There is a need for a good suggestion on what kind of ethics program that organizations should make.